What's going on? Travis here, trainaggressive.com, and we are about to dig into an awesome aggressive strength talk session here with my man David Dellanave, who's out in Minnesota, the Arctic Minnesota right now, and he has a kick-ass gym out there called the Movement Minneapolis. And Dave, want to welcome you to the call, man. I'm pretty pumped up to dig into your brain and, of course, talk strength training. So why don't you just kind of introduce yourself, and we'll kind of just dig in here, man.
Sure. So, like Travis said, I own a gym in Minneapolis. We train a really wide range of people. In general, just kind of general population people. Sometimes it's people that have never worked out before a day in their life, all the way to marathon athletes, triathletes. I train a lot of rugby players, a lot of actually. Bunch of the USA national team players, especially on the women's side, come in and train with me here and there. So really wide range of people. I'm actually training a World Cup ice climber right now. It's crazy, but mainly strength. We're not a big cardio gym. Like, we don't have any cardio equipment. We just train them for strength. And then, like Jen says, my wife, Jen Sinkler, we lift weights faster for cardio. I come from like a really kind of raw strength background. I have a passion for like the old time strongman lifts, strongman training itself. I'm actually doing a competition next weekend too. I love just, big, heavy lifts. My favorite lifts are, deadlift. A lot of people know me because of the Jefferson Deadlift. And I'm chasing a bench press right now that is getting to be heavier than anything I've seen. So, working on the bodyweight bench press.
Yeah, that's really cool. And that you mentioned old-time strongman performing and stuff like that. And that's actually how I got connected to you through my buddy Tyler Bramlett and Logan Christopher, who are really into that stuff. And it's pretty interesting stuff. So you talk about the Jefferson Deadlift. Do you still hold like the world record at your weight for that?
I do. It's funny. I hold the world record, and now the more interest that's developing in it, people are starting to come out being like, "I'm coming for you. I'm going to challenge you." And I'm like, "Cool, that's awesome." There was a guy sent me a message on YouTube the other day, and he's like, "I'm at 580. I'm coming for you." And I was like, I went and looked at the video, and he was like 270 pounds. So I was like, you're going to be in a little bit different weight class there, buddy. Yeah. But if anyone does think that they're going to take my record, they should know that I've got more in the tank on that one. So
you're just waiting for somebody to get close and then
keep raising the bar. Exactly.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what's your current record at?
It is, I believe, 605. I think it's right at like 198 or 199 body weight. I can't remember what the class is. I was about 10 pounds heavier than I am now, but it was still triple body weight.
And, for people that might be watching in, take note, this isn't a conventional deadlift. This is a Jefferson deadlift. So
right.
That's some serious strength right there. And I guess how long were you training, I guess, with that Jefferson deadlift to get up to that point?
It was funny. I got to be honest. It's not something that I had to chase for a really long time. My good buddy Adam Glass was the one who kind of brought it to my attention. He's like, "Dude, I think you'd be really good at that lift." And the first time I tried it, I went north of 500, and it was really fast coming on after that. I think I just am kind of built for it, and it just really works for me. So it probably was like maybe a year or two between the time that I first heard of it and I actually set that record. But I mean, a year or two is nothing in the strength game. Like you can chase strength for 10 years. I was lucky. I came with a really good foundation of strength. Like I've been obsessed with deadlifting since I set foot in the first day in the gym. So
sure. So you mentioned kind of your background. You had a good foundation. So let's back up a little bit again and kind of get more into your past, how you kind of got into the strength game. Were you a past athlete, or I guess what got you interested in, getting strong as hell?
Sure. I didn't really have a super athletic background. I played soccer in high school and was made fun of mercilessly for that. I downhill skied, but I would not consider myself an athlete. And about I guess it would be about 10 or 12 years ago now. I just finally decided, like, I want to lift weights, you know, like I want to do that. And I just kind of dove in head first, as I tend to do with things. And I was lucky. When I first got into it, I'd say I went 3 months on a Men's Health 12-week, scrawny to brawny type program. And I got to give a lot of credit to it. I mean, that program set me off on the right foot, because I started with big compound lifts, and I really started doing the right things. But within 3 or 4 months, I found Dragon Door. And that's actually how I knew Logan Christopher, because he's been a kettlebell guy for as long as I can remember. And the Dragon Door community really set me out on the right foot in terms of what I think, at least, is, pursuing strength, versus had I stumbled across bodybuilding.com, I might still be pumping up the chesticles, which is great. Like, that's awesome. That just wasn't what I pursued, and that's not what I have a passion for. I don't have a passion for bodybuilding. So I got into the Dragon Door stuff, and, say what you will about their crazy comrade antics. If you actually look at that community, like, there are people who are really strong and, like, care about movement, by and large. So I got into the kettlebell stuff through that. I met some local trainers that I went to for, training over the years. I went to Brett Nelson for a few sessions. I don't know. Do you know Brett at all?
I don't.
Brad used to be a senior, maybe still is, senior RKC. Really, 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 really bright and strong guy. Got a lot of good advice from him. And then that's how I found my way to like Frankie Fairs and Adam, and learned about the biofeedback training and the gym movement protocol. So that was kind of like the third evolution of my training, which came at a good time, because I was starting to get into that place, a lot of lifters probably get into, where everything kind of hurt, especially my shoulders. My shoulders killed all the time, and I just thought that was like the badge of honor for lifting weights, is that your shoulders had to hurt. Yeah. It was so stupid in hindsight, but at the time I thought that was legit. So I met these guys, got out of shoulder pain, and then started training more intuitively and really chasing what I was good at, and kind of not trying to force the round peg into the square hole, so to speak.
Definitely. So, yeah, a good little, past track to where you got to now. Kind of want to dig back into your gym, the Movement Minneapolis. Tell us about that. What's your mission with that gym? Because it sounds really interesting. You got a lot of high level athletes in there. You got just everyday people in there. So tell us more about that.
Sure. So the Movement gym idea was basically born out of this idea that I thought, okay, if I show people how easy their training could be, and that's one of our core premises, we make everything easy. It's not about effort. It's not about harder or more pain. If I show them how easy it can be and how much progress you can make with keeping your training effortless and using biofeedback and autoregulation, stuff like that, people will flock. Basically, they'll come to my gym because they'll tell all their friends how easy it is and how their results are crazy and all that. So obviously, it was simple: just open a gym, teach people these incredible methods, and the rest would take care of itself. Well, I learned the hard way that it's not quite that simple. There's a little bit more involved with running a gym and keeping the doors open and keeping people coming in, but the premise hasn't changed. We keep our training easy. We're trying to create a community and a culture of better, and that has expanded really to many, many other areas of people's lives. It's not just about training anymore. It's really about kind of pursuing better in your whole life. And I think that the gym is one of the best avenues to start approaching that. The gym is it's very quantifiable. The iron doesn't lie. 200, like Henry Rollins said, 200 pounds is 200 pounds, right? So you come in and you start training, and you start seeing these numbers on the graph going up, and we have this really cool training tracking software that I built from the ground up because nothing existed when I wanted it. So you see these numbers going up and to the right, and it's very quantifiable. And then you start associating the testing that we're doing in the gym, and you start seeing, okay, this was good for me, and it resulted in progress over here. This was bad for me, so I didn't do it, and maybe I avoided some pain or lack of progress over here. And pretty soon people start attaching that to the rest of their lives, and it's really remarkable how many people join my gym and quit a job or break up a major relationship within about 6 to 9 months of being there. And I think that that's just that process happening where they go, this isn't good for me. Fuck this, I'm out. My job is making me worse on a daily basis. Why would I continue to do this? So they quit and they do something they love. So that's kind of how the gym has evolved from there.
That's really, I like that whole mantra there. And I agree with you in the sense that, training can be a very, very good sort of base to, build strength, build mental toughness, and then all that kind of crosses out into your life. But what I like, what you're talking about is, take what is benefiting you and do that more, cut out the, bad shit. And it never ceases to amaze me, as I'm sure it does you, people that try to do the same things, over and over and over, that are like, hindering their progress, setting them back even further, so interesting stuff. So kind of digging into your gym, do you train, because you mentioned you train like high level athletes and then you train just everyday people. So I guess what is your main focus within there? Like who are your main target clientele that you train in there, or is it just kind of spanning all across the board?
It almost gets into a business thing, but if you talk to any business coach, like, I mean, you've worked with some really smart guys. Yeah. If they will tell you, you have to pick a niche, right? You have to decide that you're going to train women that are 25 to 45, or you have to train men that want to get super ripped to go to the club, or I don't know, whatever the niches are, or you need to only train triathletes. And I kind of just refuse to do that, probably to my detriment, because to me, there's no difference between the soccer mom that's never trained a day in her life and the high-level athlete. What they're doing is exactly the same. It's how they're doing it that's going to be slightly different. All it is movement. All it is training. It's just getting stronger. One of those people is starting at a much higher level, and their starting point is up here. The other one's starting down here, but they're both kind of moving at the same rate. So that's, I don't focus on somebody, even though I probably should. And, the people who pay the bills are your kind of regular average Joes, so to speak. It never ceases to amaze me, and I bet you can speak to this too, how a lot of high-level athletes think that they know better, or they think that they're special or something, and they're just not willing to, I guess, pay for professional help. But they're not professionals. They may be very good at what they do, but they're not professionals at training. So those people, in my experience, never pay the bills. Yeah. It's kind of the regular people who understand that they're not training professionals and come in with an open mind that kind of pay your bills for you.
Yeah, and that is exactly right. And I can't agree with you more. And I think that's a common misconception that people get, is like they think a high-level professional athlete, well, he's a professional athlete, so he probably knows how to, lift, with perfect form and technique. And a lot of the times when we've gotten high-level athletes in here, it's almost comical, how bad their form and technique is, and it just kind of blows me away sometimes. But
it's quite the opposite. It's pretty wild. and also, a lot of people come with these preconceived notions. Like, one example is with endurance athletes. Like, a lot of them are convinced that they don't need any kind of strength training because their sport isn't about lifting weights. It's about, run, bike, swim. And it takes a while to get them to open their mind. And then you show them phenomenal, just amazing results, and they become evangelists for what you do, and yet their friends still won't be convinced. It's crazy.
It is mind blowing because I do have a gal that used to train in here, and she's done the Boston Marathon multiple years.
Word.
And I mean, she was just stuck at a certain time, and she came in here. We got her cranking, just working body weight movements, weighted kettlebell stuff, nothing extremely heavy.
Sure. Yep.
But I mean, in just a matter of a year, I mean, she crushed her time, and she was always still trying to get her friends in, and all her friends wanted to do is run, and
yeah,
and it just blows me away. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, strength. You mentioned it at the first of the call, and that's what I always try to drive home: is strength is like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, conditioning comes off of strength. If you're weak, I mean, strength is just such an important piece to the puzzle.
Strong is strong. I mean, it's the foundation. Like I don't do a lot of yoga. I've never practiced yoga other than taking like